Good afternoon. Going to UTA, thought we had a great game plan. Coaches did a great job of kind of scouting them and making sure they were playing a little bit bigger than normal. They were playing with post players, and we ended up deciding to really get after them and pressing. And I thought that was the key to the game. Just kind of playing fast and getting them to turn over the ball. And I thought Kiki Villa played really well in controlling our offense. Simone Fields had a great week too, kind of what we expected from her from the beginning of the season. She showed up and had a double-double, and so those things continued on in Texas State. I thought we did the same thing. We were able to kind of control. The first half was a little slow, but the second half we played really well offensively and shot the ball well, and it always helps to be able to shoot the ball well, and actually out-rebounded them, and great win. Our kids are playing with a lot of effort, and some of the things that it looks like we're kind of getting going again, and it's the right time with 4 games left.
Speaking about the right time, you guys have been waiting for Simone Fields to step up, and she finally started to give you some oomph in the post. Is this exactly what you've been waiting for from her?
Yeah, I tell you, I've been impatient, man. I tell you what, I've been pulling my hair out and just kind of, I had to kind of watch my language sometimes around her. It's just kind of because she's so talented, and a lot of the thing was just effort, and she was kind of down on herself on some of the things, and just being coachable. And I thought this week was good for her. We went play in her area, and her grandmother was there, so that helped. I had a little a meeting with her grandmother, and maybe that's just what got it going. I know I couldn't get it going, but we're excited. She had another good practice just now. So, and we all have words. We don't use, again, our program is based on each individual's belief, and that belief has to come together. And her word was consistency. And, I kept looking at it and where is it at? And so these last 2 games, we feel that she's been a little bit more consistent, and hopefully she can carry that over into the next 4 games and into the tournament, because that'll be big for us.
Simone having to go against the 6'5" center, that she really has to work to kind of root her out of where she wants to get to. She has to physically work to keep her out of the lane. Is that something else that kind of got her going? Because it was one of those deals where she's got to really put a lot of effort into dealing with somebody that big.
I hadn't thought of that, but I think that's probably a great point, because last year when we played against Oral Roberts, their 6'7" kid, I thought she did a great job. So maybe she does need more of a challenge. It's like I don't need a challenge to play harder or whatever. But I thought she played really well against us, and I think we had a good game plan. We side fronted the post player, that's something we normally don't do, and we got help from the other post players coming dumping down, so it helped Simone. But offensively, I thought she was a lot more aggressive. I think Simone kind of took it to heart that we needed her to score, and we've been kind of on her, so it's good. But I think maybe that helped. The challenge that she had against a 6'5" sophomore, that's same classification. She took it as a challenge.
Defensively, how encouraging is it that Kia Willard and Kiki Villa were able to stay out of foul trouble for both of those games?
Yeah, at the end of the Texas State game, I was getting kind of worried that it was just going to go foul because they looked so tired. I'm like, well, are y'all going to about ready to foul? Because I'll take you out right now. And they both said no. But for them to stay out of foul trouble, Kia got in a little bit of foul trouble by the second quarter of the Texas State game. She had 2. And we pulled her, and she didn't play the remaining of the second quarter. But for her to come out and play the rest of the game and not foul, and then for Kiki, I think we're getting better at it. They're understanding the process, that we're going to need them in the game to stay in the game and not make silly fouls. So we can, when we got them in the game, our offense runs a lot smoother and our defense is a lot more effective. So, we really need them in the game. And then for Simone to step up. And I thought Jody Quinn in Brooklyn played really good defense in both games, and got Adrian come off the bench, and she's a defensive player too. And we're getting some minutes from some people that are doing their role and contributing. I think that's going to be the big thing.
After playing Troy close here, just what kind of concerns do you have around the road?
It's trying to stop them. They scored 101 on Saturday night, and they're just very difficult. Again, they gave up 89 to App State, but it's difficult to kind of get up and down with them. And boy, we love doing it, so we got to make sure that. But at the same time, you still got to attack them and make them guard you and all that. And I think that's been our Achilles heel in the past, is we trying to slow it down, but we don't attack them. And last game, the first half, I thought we didn't play very well, and then the second half we started attacking and making them guard us, and we were able to get some scores, and then we made some stops. So it's a challenge to stop them, I think, defensively. And I think that's maybe why we'll play, is because we like the challenge, and you got to pick your spots when you can press them, and so forth and so on. But they're really difficult to guard.
Coach, that's what I was going to ask you. If obviously the last couple of games you played 7-8, pretty much settled on that right now. That may have to change a little bit because if you try to press them, you like you said, you may be out of gas before third period.
Yeah, I think it's like we need some of the other kids to kind of step up, and it's mostly defensively. We need our kids, and we worked on defensive transition today. They need to be able to play the way we want to play. Our coaching staff wants to play, or our system requires to play, and that's what we're struggling with. With some of the kids coming off the bench, I'm not really worried about the offensive side. I mean, if you can shoot the ball, you can shoot the ball. You get in the game, but defensively we struggle a little bit with them in the game, and they're trying to fight through on defensive transition. We had 2 different teams today, and they're trying to fight through to learn how the system works, and still trying to be a little bit more productive. So we need a little bit more effort for them. I'm hoping that we could play, but at this time of the year, if you're able to play 8, it's pretty good. And we were playing 7 or 8, and if somebody else could step up, it would really, and they're on the verge of it. They're getting better at it. Bree Cooper's been out because of a foot injury. It's a minor foot injury, but she's not been very effective because she can't move. And today she really looked good. I've been resting her on purpose in games because I didn't feel we needed her, and she wasn't very effective in the practice. But today she looked good, so we might be able to get her some minutes. And we need to get Jordan Alexander going again. And it's just freshman times. The inconsistency of trying to fight through the long season, and the rough coaching that Coach that brings. The expectations that I bring are kind of high, and I don't let anybody slip. So, now's the time. If any is the time, is we need people to step up and continue to build on what we're doing. I think we're getting better. The last couple of weeks we've played better, and we're playing more together. So, and a lot of it's Kiki Veal. She's really bought in. I'm seeing a little bit of leadership from her that we never had before. So it's a good thing.
Does that mean feel better for her? Is that some of it too?
Yeah, I think her, and I think her realizing that hey, when I do, we do need some leadership, and some kids were barking back, and it's like, whoa, Kiki's the one that's kind of shutting it down. I'm like, wow, this is what, this is not the time to bark back. This is time to start barking forward and continue to improve. And sometimes just put your head down, and I think that's helped us. When Kiki Veal says something, they kind of listen, because if I'm the one that's consistently disciplined, and it makes it a little tougher, but it's been a good 2 weeks for her, and hopefully she can continue that.
Fun stat, your team's 8-1 when they hold teams under 50 points. How easy does that make for you to coach your guys that when you play your game style, you guys win?
Yeah, we go into pregame and all that when they come in before the last 5 minutes, and I write on the board. I know what the other team scores if they score 63, and my question to them is, what we're going to hold them to tonight? What is our goal? We do that every game. And I'm telling you, this most of the game, and then I'll challenge, like some of them, this is when I know I'm not feeling as good, is like if they score 63 and they say we'll hold them to 55. I said, well, no, that's not enough. It's only 8 points, it's not enough. We need to we need to bring it down to 10 or 12, and they're pretty good about it. But we've been hitting our goals. I mean, the last couple of games we had some goals of keeping them under a certain amount, and we've been hitting and when we hit our goals, we usually win. And so that's a good sign that we're moving in the right direction.
Teams that run pretty deep into the shot clock, maybe you can get a rhythm, kind of figure out where their shots are going to come from. Is Troy kind of a challenge because they run such quick sets and they want to get so many shots up? Is it hard sometimes to figure out where the shot's coming from?
There's no doubt. It makes it difficult when it's coming from everywhere, and everybody's, I always say that they don't have a green light, they don't have no light. They're just shooting it, and they come down, and especially it's difficult to guard in transition. If they have a set, and then we kind of know what set they're running and where they're coming off of screens, we can switch and do some. They're not doing that. They're coming off a transition, just firing it up, and it's hard because we sprint back 3 people and we got to cover out. So and we worked on that today. And it's just, you know, we got our first 5 are pretty good at it, but everybody coming off the bench got to get better at it. But it's extremely hard to guard. I want to say something about Tony Robichaux. When I left here last Monday, I went over there and spent 2 hours with him on some of the things that I need to do. And it's like you're always looking for better ways to do it. And it's just kind of, I want to thank Tony publicly because he gave me some ideas on how to get the kids going. And I think our 2 wins came from a lot of his advice last week. So that's what's so good about being a Cajun, because Cajun people share. And so it was good. And, you know, to see him have a great weekend and all that, and I know they're going to have a great time. I went to the game yesterday. I was impressed by their physical presence. It's, you know, not just their skill level, but their physical presence is unbelievable. But just wanted to say that. Thanks.